Teddy, I don't know how closely you've been following the news, but it blew up yesterday on social media. Titus O'Neil was suspended by WWE, originally 90 days. He basically grabs Vince McMahon at the end of the Daniel Bryan celebration after a Raw went off the air and was on the WWE network. There's a number of different angles here. Some people are saying this is a racial issue, that Vince went purposely after Titus O'Neil. But boy, they got a lot of flack for that situation. WWE, I'm talking about. And they ended up putting out a statement that it wasn't racial, and they've actually reduced his 90-day suspension down to 60 days. I know you've heard about this. What's your perspective on what happened to Titus O'Neil?
Well, the first thing I'd like to say, to the people that are trying to make this a race issue, that's just stupid. It's nothing racial about this. Now, I had a chance to work with Titus when I was there. I was there when Titus came in there. Him and Darren, they were the primetime players, and they was managed by Abraham Washington. And one thing about Titus, I like Titus. He's a great guy, real nice guy, wants to do a lot of things for kids. He's concerned about his community, and he does a lot of positive stuff. But Titus, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, let me say that right now, this is my opinion, I'm saying this, Titus had the tendency to play a lot, you know what I mean? And like in the WWE, it's all right to play and have fun, but sometimes, you have to put the playing aside and take things a lot more serious. And I just don't think Titus took his job serious, at the time. But as he, progressed and, stayed there longer, he started to come around. So I don't know why people are saying this is race. Race has nothing to do with it. You got to look at it. If it was race, Titus grabbed Vince. Vince didn't grab Titus. If Titus had never grabbed Vince, then this would have never happened. So how can you say that Vince McMahon is being racial to Titus O'Neil? He never touched Titus. Titus grabbed him. So this is something that you don't do. This is in the middle of Daniel Bryan's celebration there, his retirement. Everybody else was standing in line watching it. Why would you step out of line and grab Vince? For what? I don't understand that. But I think he understands now. I did see his comments where he said, it was a stupid move. He felt like shit after he went home, and if Vince wanted to release him, then fine, he would understand that. Vince didn't say not one time about releasing him. And I think it's great that Vince reduced his suspension down to 30 days, because I know some promoters would have left it at the 90 days. They wouldn't have given a shit whether he made it to WrestleMania or not. So, my hat's off to Vince for doing that. The man you don't play on the job. And playing with Vince, that's just something that you don't do. I was there for 15 years. I never done it. And I was in a position where I could have played with him. You know what I mean? Where I could have joked with him and stuff. But I understood him. The man is strictly business. When there's a time to play, there's a time to play. And Vince will have fun. He'll loosen up sometime with you. I was on his plane one time, and he was loosening up. He was playing, talking to all of us. But I didn't have a whole lot to say because, I'm like flattered. I'm sitting on Vince's plane here. What do I talk about? And he said to me, he said, well, you got nothing to say. You ain't talking much, And I'm like, what do you want me to say? So this racist, they need to let that alone. So like I said, some people just sit around on social media and they just wait on the first little thing that they can take and run with it. And that's what I think they're doing with this.
Yeah, I mean, when I first heard about it, I was like, whoa. Because I saw it at the end of Raw where somebody, something happened with Vince and then Vince pushed somebody. I didn't know it was Titus O'Neil until the story came out. And then I'm looking all over social media and everybody's saying it's a race thing. He did it because he was a black man. And I didn't take it like that at all. I'm just taking it like, you know what? It's like this. If it had been, say, a John Cena or Randy Orton or somebody higher up on the pecking order, then it wouldn't have been an issue. But since it's Titus O'Neil, that's a problem. And that's kind of where I got from it.
Let me say this to you. That wouldn't have never happened. It wouldn't have been a John Cena. It wouldn't have been a Randy Orton because John Cena, Randy Orton, those guys, they know better. Okay? And Titus O'Neil should have known better. I've seen Cena joke around with Vince, but I've never seen him joke around with him on live TV. I've seen him backstage, you know what I mean? Play around and stuff. But like I said, these guys know better. And Titus O'Neil has been there a long time, too. He knows better. Well, he said it in his comments. He said, stupid. I was a stupid mistake. So that let me know he knew better too. So if Titus is saying he made a stupid mistake, how can you sit there and say that this is racism? He didn't say it was that race had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's typically what it was. And I saw, some of the stupid shit on social media, people saying, "Oh yeah, Vince, you're showing your true colors. It's Black History Month, and you let one of the token few black wrestlers you have go home. Oh, this is all wrong." I'm like this: if it was me on my job, I'd have been gone.
Well, I look at it like this, brother. If I was the boss and somebody grabbed me playing with me at the wrong time, ain't no telling what I would have did. You don't play on live TV. This is TV. This is live TV. So you don't play. This is strictly business, so you remain professional at all times.
Yeah, I wonder, too, if this had not aired on the network, would have been as big of an issue, because obviously people saw Vince McMahon being grabbed. Frank right there just said that he saw, somebody grab Vince, didn't realize who it was. If this happens off camera, do you think the same result of a 90-day suspension comes up?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how Vince would have felt about it off camera. I mean, if it had happened off camera, I believe it may have been a different situation. They may have been able to talk to Titus and say, "Hey, man, this is something you don't do. Don't do that no more. Be professional." But to do it on live TV, you know what I mean? That's just wrong. You don't play with this job. It's just wrong. I stayed there 15 years. I'm telling you, I know. You don't play around with this job. This is strictly business. Every minute of that TV time is money. That's what it's about with Vince. So you got to think about this too. If you want to make money, you have to keep yourself in a position to make money. So don't do nothing stupid. And they were doing stuff with Titus. You know what I mean? He was on Raw and SmackDown every week. They got him out doing a lot of ambassador work, so they had plans for him. So you know what I mean? And he knew this. He knew this, what they were doing, but I think he just got carried away and just made a big mistake.
What do you think about his friend Batista, Dave Batista, saying to Titus on Twitter, he said something about, he told Titus to ask for his release?
Well, I did see that too, and Batista, I'm real good friends with him. I met him before he ever became Batista when he was in OVW, and he had a chance. I went down there to do some work with him, and he had a chance to pick me up, and me and him talk ever before he became Batista. And I said to him myself, and he'll tell you this. I said, "Brother, you're gonna be it. They're gonna use you. You're gonna be the next guy." And so me and Batista's always been buddies. So I don't. Maybe this is some heat that Batista has with Vince or something, or with the company, for him to make a statement like that. Because you got to think about this: you asking a guy to ask for his release. Are you gonna pay his bills? Are you gonna take over his mortgage payments? Are you gonna start buying him groceries? Are you gonna start paying his car notes and stuff? So don't tell a guy to ask for his release unless you got a job for him. Maybe Batista has a job for him in acting. Maybe he's going to get him a job in films or something. I don't know, but that's something you don't say. I ain't going to tell nobody to ask for their release because I don't know how they live. I don't know what expenses they have. I'm not going to be the guy to pay their bills, so I don't agree with that.
So let me ask you this question when it comes to this situation. Do you think that this is going to be something that's going to, keep Titus down, or do you think that Vince is when him and Titus finally talked about the situation, this will be something they can leave in the past and move forward with Titus and whatever push they have?
Well, yeah, I think this will move on. Vince is like this, man. Vince is about making money. And if there's still $1 left in Titus, then Vince is going to keep him there, and Vince is going to use Titus. You know what I mean? I think this will blow over. And you look at this. Look what the situation that happened between Vince and Bret Hart. Okay? All right, after that died down, Bret Hart came back, worked for the company, and he still, I think, got a Legends deal. So they're still paying him. So, you know what I'm saying? I think this will just blow over. It's just people just blowing it out of proportion. But I think this taught Titus a lesson. This will make a man out of him, you know what I mean? So when you come to work, not to play.